Hey, how's it going, everybody? Daybreaker Rein here, coming at you through your late night video scope. I've got an itch. The itch that happens every year has come back, where I must revisit Super Metroid. It's kind of this weird thing. Like every year, it seems to be just kind of an anomaly that happens with me that I'll play through at least one or two of the Metroid titles sometime throughout the year. Usually it'll be like Super Metroid, Metroid Fusion, Metroid Zero Mission, and the other is Castlevania Symphony of the Night or Castlevania Circle of the Moon is one of them that I like to revisit. And sometimes it's mostly the GBA titles like Aria of Sorrow and Harmony of Dissonance. It's this weird thing. It's always happened where I just get that undeniable urge that I have to play these games. And so I decided that we would check out Super Metroid for an after hours stream. So I'm actually going to play for pretty much as long as I want. So I hope you guys stick around. If you guys haven't already guessed it, I'm actually playing this on my Retron 5. I was running into an issue earlier, but my cartridge has been sitting up on the shelf for some time, so I think that might have been what's up. Contacts might be dirty. That happens with a lot of these games. And I know the Retron actually pulls the ROM, but I would assume that because it's actually pulling the ROM straight from the cartridge, that if there's any sort of like weird thing with the contact pins or anything like that, it'll mess it up. Oh man. So I have already actually played this game in full. I did this for Extra Life once before, and I'm going to turn that down slightly on my end, just so that's not bleeding through while I'm talking. Audio for OBS is kind of weird, but yeah, so I played this for Extra Life. I did a Metroid extravaganza, and I played this along with Metroid Fusion, Metroid 1, and Metroid 2 Return to Samus. I actually got into a conversation just recently with somebody on Twitter. I really need to play that that Metroid 2 remake, the fan one, not the 3DS one. Although it's kind of weird because the whole reason that this conversation started taking place is because a person actually didn't like the 3DS remake, and I had heard a lot of good things about it, which is strange. So yeah. But yeah, I'm pretty much going to probably play through the whole game. I can blast through this in a couple hours. I'm a freaking insomniac. Well, my insomnia has actually sort of come back, unfortunately. And it sucks that it's come back. I wish that it wasn't that way. I've just been dealing with a lot of internal conflict, guys. That's one of the main reasons why I haven't really been uploading and playing stuff. Like, there's a bunch of stuff that I really wanted to do. Like, I wanted to review the second season of Castlevania. I still have not done that. I watched Castlevania Season 2 when it dropped back in October. I have put that review off. I've wanted to finish Kingdom Hearts on stream, and that's just probably it. Hopefully, and this is the big if. I'm supposed to have these next 2 weeks off from classes, so hopefully during these next 2 weeks, I'll definitely be looking into doing the Kingdom Hearts streams, as well as hopefully doing something special for the end of the year. I don't know what. I want to do something for Extra Life, but I'm still kind of back and forth on what I want to do, at least to have another week to kind of think about it. I don't know if it'll be like super announced. Like, I don't know if I'll be doing like what I typically do, which is I usually make some sort of like vlog video, and I will talk about what I plan to do, if anything. I kind of wanted to do a Castlevania extravaganza. The problem with that is that I can't really. There's not a single Castlevania that I feel I could beat in a reasonable time. because most of the ones that I'm really good at, or the ones that I enjoy playing a lot, are the Metroidvania style ones. Symphony, Circle of the Moon, Aria of Sorrow, Harmony of Dissonance. One of these days, I will eventually get the little extra cutscene where you actually make him drop the Metroid, because you freaking give him enough damage. I can always get him to start turning red. It's like I can never get him to that point though where he actually drops the Metroid. I always run out of health, as you can see, because he takes off once you start. I really hope the audio is not too low. I didn't turn it down as heavy as my last stream. I turned it up just a tad because I know that this is going to be overly lower volume. It sucks. Like, that's the only thing I kind of dislike about this new streaming software I'm using with OBS, Streamlabs. The problem is that, like, from my end, I can't tell if it's been turned down or not. With XSplit, all that's in my control. I can hear it through my own headphones and determine whether or not it's too loud. With this, I unfortunately can't, though. But yeah. Where the hell did I put my... Oh, there it is. I'm actually gonna probably put that right there. Ugh. So yeah, I can typically beat this game in about... Usually only takes me about a couple hours, if anything. I don't know if I will actually beat it in this one sitting. I'm probably just going to play until I can't freaking keep my eyes open. But I've been going to bed so late. Like, it's unreal. You know, and it sucks, really. And I don't like getting preachy or, you know, melodramatic or anything like that on these streams, but it just really sucks because it's like, you know, this time of year, I do try to typically kind of let my burdens go, if you will. You know, not everybody has the same beliefs or anything like that when it comes to celebrating the holidays, like Christmas. You know, you could celebrate Kwanzaa, you could celebrate Hanukkah. You know, everybody kind of approaches it differently. And, you know, for me and my family, it's always been, you know, we try to make this season or this holiday, you know, joyous. We try to not be bogged down by, you know, hardships and personal turmoil and things like that. I always try that, and it's just this season I've just not had that mindset, really, and it's unfortunate. You know, I don't like that, you know, and my mother's kind of feeling it too that way, but I think for me it's just, you know, everybody deals with losing someone, you know, someone that they care about, someone important to them in different ways. And I can sufficiently say that I'm not really dealing with my friend Andrew's death as well as I thought I would. I thought I had kind of passed the grieving when I made my video about him. I guess it's just that sinking feeling that, you know, you don't really... Okay, thank you. Sorry. I thought my select button wasn't working there for a minute. I had to kind of like push it in. I am using an actual legitimate Super Nintendo controller. I am not using like that freaking controller I have. The controller that was packaged with the Retron. It was an interesting controller. Yeah, actually, that's fucking great. I just realized that my select button's not working like it should. I have to like... I don't know why that is. It's never given me issues like this before. That's gonna pose a really big problem. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to see if it's like something stuck, which is weird because that wouldn't be. Shit. You know I could use. Oh man, that's gonna be a huge problem. I think. I think what it is I think that I think the button itself is off center. Let me see something real quick. If I had a way to properly record my Super Nintendo, I'd just be doing it on the original Super Nintendo, but you know how these things work. It's just easier to do it this way because this is an HDMI out system. I actually hope to get one of those, Re-Res reviewed them. Fuck, I forget the name, like something 2, something R, something. It's like a red and black system and it supports NES, the Super Nintendo, but it has an HDMI out. It's not like this. Well, that would be inaccurate. That might be something. I don't know if that's actually it. I'm just going to do that and see if that fixes it. No, that's not what's up. It's literally my select button's messed up. That's lovely, but that's kind of understandable. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm going to go grab my, unfortunately, my third-party controller. Ugh. But let me just try just one thing. Let me just see if I plug it in, if I unplug it and plug it back in, if that fixes it. God damn it, I go, fuck. Yeah, that's the one thing I don't like. that shelf held together literally by pegs. Like, I mean, it's held up by pegs. And it always freaking pops down when I, like, press down on stuff. Let me see if that was it. It's like multi-registering it, which is really strange. I don't know if... Yeah, it's weird that it's doing, like, the multi-press. Oh. Did I fix it? No. Shit. Okay, I'm going to grab my third-party controller real quick. I gotta set my headset down for this, but give me a sec. Needless to say, I don't play my Super Nintendo I don't play my Retron very often. So the big question I'm having is like, why is that happening? I don't know. I just hope it's not happening with this third-party controller, as fucking awful as these third-party shits are. This is not my favorite controller, that's why I kept using my legitimate one. The only thing I replaced on my legitimate one is the right shoulder was messed up. So I had to take a busted Super Nintendo third-party controller, and what I did was I had to shave down the peg because it didn't fit right. I took the button out, and I shaved it down, and then I popped it in there to where it actually clicked properly. Okay. Okay, yeah, so this is the third-party controller. God, this feels fucking awful. But I'm going to try to deal with it. Typically, I like to play these when I do emulators. I like to play it with my freaking Xbox controller. Because, surprise, surprise, wired Xbox 360 controllers work really well for these type of things. But, we've got it solved. I'm using the third party. I want to say This isn't a third party from Hyperkin, but I do know a place where I could get those. The local shop here in town does deals with Hyperkin and stuff like that, so they do sell more reliable third party controllers, I could say. I want to say that this is like a freaking, these are one of those Tomy controllers. I don't know. I bought this from when Hastings Entertainment was still a thing. This is where this was one of the ones I bought. Just because I needed another controller and I didn't have an actual legitimate Super Nintendo controller. I do think, actually, I should probably go look. I probably will after I'm done with this, whenever I decide to actually stop streaming. So much for my speedrun. And totally fucked up because of fucked up controller. I'll have to open it. I bet that there's some, like, loose thing or there's something stuck in it. Thankfully, like, maintenance on old school controllers is a little bit easier to handle. I mean, unless, of course, if it's something I can actually fix, you know, because, like, I'm not an expert about, like, freaking wire connections and things like that. It could be just one of the wires and the board is fucked up. I don't know. Could be the board itself is fucked up. I mean, granted, you know, I've had that freaking Super Nintendo controller. Shit, now I want to say that that's the one that I got packaged with my Super Nintendo when I bought it from the shop here, and that was freaking years ago, man, because they've changed locations several times. So that was years ago when they were on one of the busier streets. Well, they're still kind of on a busier street, but they've moved to a bigger location. It's nice, actually. It's real nice. I enjoy it a lot. It's why I like shopping there. Oh shit, yeah, you need the fucking bombs to do that shit. Yeah, I would use the, you know, Hyperkin packaged in that freaking like programmable controller with the Retron 5. That fucking thing doesn't work anymore. That thing, like, I know people have like mixed opinions about Hyperkin. I've never been really dissatisfied with any of their products. Like, I have had my issues with the Retron 5. I think a lot of the notable ones got patched out, at least as long as they were supporting it. I don't really know if they're still supporting it or not, which is a thing. But I was trying to keep the update patch. I was trying to keep the patches quite frequently. There was like no newsletter or anything I was subbed to freaking know. To know exactly like when the new updates and stuff are coming out. For as far as I know, there could be a new one that I haven't actually went and checked. But I've heard their controllers are good, like the actual wired ones, not the weird wonky shit that they actually packaged with the Retron 5. Yeah, I don't know what it is about that thing. That thing fell apart. I don't know if it's just because like I was too rough with it or what, but like that thing didn't last very long, to say the least. So I've just been using my actual legit wired controllers for pretty much all my gaming purposes on it. Besides, I think it just feels better. Like, I'm glad that they at least gave you that option, that you weren't stuck with like some freaking controller that they packaged with the system. Because I know some of these like clone consoles and stuff like that, like you're stuck with it. Like you can't actually use legitimate like old school hardware. Which thankfully in the Retron 5's case, that's not the case. You have all the proper ports, so you can use the legitimate hardware. But I do think there's a place I like to frequent. It's an online store. Don't know if you guys have heard of it, but it's a retro. They do sell modern stuff, but I mainly go for their retro stuff because a lot of the times they have good prices. They sell retro stuff. It's called jjgames.com. I am not being sponsored to tell you about this as much as I was. Hell yeah, I'd promote their shit all day, every day. It's a retro site that I found, and at first, I think when I first brought it up that I was like buying stuff from them, like people were like, "Oh, you're buying some from some like weird third-party site," but it's actually a fairly legitimate site. Like they have bargain bin stuff all the time. They sell retro and modern. I mainly go there for the retro stuff. But their controllers, they actually sell legitimate controllers for fairly inexpensive. So I might go see if I could pick up some actual proper Super Nintendo controllers. Because if the select button's fucking up and I can't figure out exactly what it is, because like I was actually like jamming my finger, like my thumb, like my nail into the button to like actually push it down and like give it that solid connection, but yeah, it just wasn't working out the way that it should have. So that leads me to believe that my freaking original Super Nintendo controller might be going out. That's fine. That's typically what, which is weird because like I've not known like older controllers to be so like, a lot of the time people say like it's like the controller that lasts longer than the system, but you know, what do I know? I used to freaking like, I think like I've got like one good working N64 controller and all my other ones are fucking busted. Like I think I tried to piece together and salvage like one of these like third-party fucking controllers, but I think even that one's fucking finicky. I need to go get me like a more proper I have like one of those aftermarket sticks that's more done up like GameCube style. I have one of those in my N64 controller, which is not the greatest. It works for some games, but like for actual precision games, it is not the greatest. Like FPSs are literally impossible to play on it. Which, surprisingly, I really did like FPSs on the Super Nintendo. It's kind of a weird thing. Like, I know that some of those FPSs, like, especially, like, I think it was, like, Turok 3 was, like, real bad with its frame rate and shit. But, like, I loved playing original Quake. I loved playing Quake 2. Even though I know that, I think that's, like, one of the debates is, like, the PC version is a lot better, I think, to most people with Quake 2. Well, PC version is usually superior in every aspect, but like when it comes to the actual, because like I think the N64 changed the beginning level or something like that, while the PS1 version I think retained the original level. But I think both cut out like the actual narrated cutscenes and stuff like that, I think. It's been a long time since I've looked at different, like, comparing differences and stuff like that. Well, we'll see how far I can actually get, depending on how I'm feeling by the time I hit Kraid. I might just kill Kraid and just end it there. But I do think I will probably come back to this in an after-hours stream. Like, I think I'll make this my next after-hours game. Because, like, I typically don't stick with one game during after-hours. Like, I usually change it up, but I think I might actually use this as a reason to actually stream late. It sucks, though, because, like, the problem with streaming late is I don't have a designated fan base, so it becomes the problem of, like, you know, I have to catch people who are night owls like I am, you know, and hope that maybe they come by, but that's usually not how these after-hours streams go. I usually don't have a lot of activity going on in my after-hours streams, which is fine, and I don't mind. It doesn't bug me so much. Could be a lot worse. Wow, I've actually dropped frames. Wonder when that happened. Which, that's really weird, considering it's like I'm not actually playing a game via my PC, like I'm just using my Elgato. So that's actually really stunning that I have dropped frames. I wonder if it was maybe towards the beginning of the stream or something like that, because it hasn't gone further down. If I start noticing that, like, it starts, like, dropping more, then I'll be concerned. But hopefully I won't have any issues with dropped frames in the future because I'm upgrading my processor at the end of next month. So, which I did find out. Okay, so you know, any PC person who freaking watches this archive or whatever is gonna freaking crucify me for this shit. But I bought a pre-built rig. And yeah, I know that that's usually not the way to go. Um, for me, it's because, you know, I'm not super tech savvy. I've learned a lot. Don't get me wrong. I have learned so much in recent time. Like I've tried to educate myself as best as I can. I'm not to the point where I feel like I can build a rig just from pieces. But I think that I've come to understand a lot of stuff, and I've learned a lot. Like, so, like, the one thing is that, like, you know, I got a liquid cooling unit with a rate. It's like a single. It's like, think of 120 millimeter. It's a radiator. It's a closed system. So I had to look this up because, like, I was really confused how these things worked, because, like, I always heard that it's like, oh, you gotta, you know, refill these things with, like, coolant and stuff like that. And mine, you don't have to do that, thankfully. And it's good that I didn't get one that does that, because I probably would have run it. Like, the coolant in that shit probably would have been dried up by now, I can almost guarantee. Ah, the fucking music in this game is so good. You know, this has got to be by far one of my favorite soundtracks on the Super Nintendo. There's just a lot of really good music on the Super Nintendo. Like, I'm not trying to say that because, like, oh, I prefer Super Nintendo. Like, I just, there's just a lot more memorable shit. Like, I have Genesis tracks, don't get me wrong. Like, I have music from, like, the Sega Genesis library. There's good shit on the Genesis library, too. Like, Aeroflash has really good music, I feel. Sonic, of course. Like, I will never, you know, I might not be the biggest fan of Sonic games, but I have never once been disappointed with the Sonic the Hedgehog soundtrack. Like, it's always good music. Like, I always come in here to at least get the missile tank. I know that there's a way to actually, like, I think it's using the morph ball. Like, you can do like a boost, and I think you can. I need missiles. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, Samus wouldn't jump for some reason. Probably this third-party controller and it's not registering inputs. Yeah, I am not the biggest fan of this freaking controller. So that's kind of one of the reasons why I'm like thinking like, maybe I shouldn't actually try to beat the game on this damn thing. Because I really like my legitimate Super Nintendo controller. I hope that I can buy me a new one for fairly cheap. Well, not brand new, like, buy me one that's in working condition, at least. And not feel like I'm getting ripped off. It might have to wait, too, so we'll see. I'm a little bit strapped for cash since Christmas and all that, so had some trips, had some stuff, and it's just like, yeah, my wallet's pretty tight at the moment, so it's kind of hard for me to really spend any excess. I will have excess when I get my money for my processor, which is going to go to various endeavors. Big thing is getting the processor. That's my big thing. I did actually consider, I'm going to go with basically the best processor that my motherboard can take, for the most part, which is an i7, which should serve me theoretically for about a year or two, hopefully, in combination with the GTX 1070 dual fan card I got me. You know, I'd be curious to ask, like, how many people, like, started the Metroid series with, like, the first Metroid. Or, not this, excuse me, let me rephrase that. That this game would be their first Metroid title. Because, like, I would think that, like, with the other Metroid games, you get kind of the feel of, like, the secrecy aspect. Like, you know what certain things do, and, like, bombing specific walls and things like that. So you get that idea that there will be secrets, more or less. So it's like, imagine if this was like your first game and you weren't aware. Like, if you got to that wall and you're like, what the fuck do I do? Oh, this is gonna be a fucking feat if I can actually pull this off. God, yeah, I do not like these buttons on this fucking controller. The D-pad's not bad. It's the freaking... God, yeah, I'm actually amazed. It's like... I don't know. It's something about the freaking B and A button. They just feel wrong. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just because they're higher up, so, like... Yeah, they just don't squish down. Like, they're made of a different material. They're made of a different material, and they just don't squish down properly. They feel really firm. But the thing with that is like, I have not used this controller a lot. So, I want to say the one time Xanthan was over and we were freaking playing Super Mario World, he ended up using the... I want to say I ended up using the controller that was packaged with the Retron, and he used like my legitimate Super Nintendo controller. That we just kind of stayed away from the third-party one. For good reason. Oh, man. Charge beam. Spoiler alert for anybody new who comes in. You're going to find out where everything is. At least the stuff that's easy to get. Because there's a lot of shit in this freaking game. I've never beaten this game with 100% item rating. Like, that shit is fucking difficult. There's a lot of tricky shit that you got to learn and find out where crap is. You have to run through this freaking gauntlet twice to get items, and you have the potential to miss them because you fall down this hole that you can't jump back up out of. Ah, fun shit. Yeah, it just like, and that's kind of why, like, if you're seeing like weird jittery movement, that's not the freaking Retron's fault. That's me, like, freaking dealing with this awful fucking controller. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is like a Tomei controller. Yeah, do not recommend. I have an NES controller in the same brand. Yeah, fuck that thing. That thing's D-pad's the big killer. Like, I wouldn't mind it if the D-pad wasn't so fucking bad. You know, and the crazy thing is like, that was a progressive thing. Like, I never used to, like, have, like, this big, like, stick up my butt about controllers. Like, I could literally play any game on any controller and not care. But it's like, as I got older, you, like, realize how, like, it's just this weird thing. Like, you realize that, like, there's a certain feel to the actual legitimate hardware that, like, a lot of this freaking third-party stuff just does not replicate. This boss used to scare the shit out of me when I was a kid. I'm pretty sure I said that when I got here. I'm pretty sure I said that during my freaking Metroid extravaganza when I got to this point. Yeah, this boss used to freak the shit out of me when I was a kid. And I think the reason is just because the music on top of its weird, like, bobbing back and forth motion, like, I think that just like stuck, and it always freaked me out. And, you know, when you're a kid, you, like, you know, you over exaggerate shit in your head. And so I always thought that this fight was, like, way creepier than it actually is. Like, the room's a lot darker, and the enemy's actually a lot bigger, and it's just got this creepy music going, and it's just like... But then you remember, you're freaking Samus Aran, who's fucking badass bounty hunter, and it's like, shouldn't be scared of a plant that just bobs back and forth. You know, it's, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like, freaking, I remember Like, just like even retro games, well, retro, I say retro, like old horror games. So like Silent Hill 2 used to scare the shit out of me. I used to be deathly terrified of fucking Pyramid Head. I mean, I think with good reason, but you know, like when you really sit and play the game, like, and you play it enough, like you like that, you get numb to it, and you're just like, oh, this isn't that scary anymore. I used to be deathly freaking afraid of Scissor Man from the original Clock Tower. The freaking concept of that character scared the crap out of me. Like, Resident Evil used to scare the crap out of me too, like old school Resident Evil. And it's so funny to say that now because like you see how far graphics have come and like, you know, how really creepy Resident Evil 7 is in comparison to like the older games. Like, I don't know, there's something about like modern horror where like I know it's not necessarily the jumps, like I don't care for the jump scare aspect. Like I think the first Five Nights at Freddy's, excuse me, was fine. But then it just got old because they repeated like the same sort of like, you know, the cheapness of like the jump scare. That's what keeps you on edge. Like the ones that really freak me out are the ones where like you're actually being chased. Like, because like, especially like the first person ones, because it's just like, you know, you have that innate, like you can hear the enemy or whatever. Like, so that's why I'm like really like, I'm like blown away about the remake of Resident Evil 2 because it's like the scenes with you know, Mr. X and everything. Oh, that was dumb. The fucker chases you. Like, everything's happening in real time. Like, there's no load screen between rooms, you know, to kind of like give you that sense of reprieve. You know, it's literally you're like running through doors at an active rate, like an actual realistic rate, and like the fucker chases you through the whole thing, and like you can hear his footsteps. It's just freaking, it's mind numbing. Like, I'm like, oh my god, I'm probably not gonna do well with that game. It looks great. I'm looking forward to it, though. I mean, I did get through all of Leon's story in the original, so hopefully, aside from the new, there's going to be this omnipresent being that I can hear his freaking heavy-ass boots everywhere I go. And I always have to kind of, like, keep on the lookout. Oh, God, I remember, though, in the original, there's that one part where he busts through the wall, and that scared the shit out of me. And, I mean, I played 2 way later, so, like, I was already really, like, you know, I was getting to the point where, like, horror games didn't really scare me anymore, you know? Like, but I had never really played or watched Resident Evil 2 all the way through, so I didn't know about that part, so that freaking part scared the shit out of me. Got me good. I think that's the beauty of like horror games, especially if you go in blind, if you don't already look up all the jump scares and everything that that happens, you know. You get that sense of like, holy crap, you know. Horror movies in a way are the same way. You know, if you've never seen a horror movie first, like if you've never watched a horror movie and like The Exorcist, for example, like a lot of that shit can be unnerving, especially if you don't know about it prior, especially if you watch that frickin' director's cut, man. The spider walk. I think I can say enough just there. That frickin' shit still to this day, that's probably the creepiest part of that director's cut, to me at least, is just that part, because it's like the concept of just like a freaking person like walking down the stairs backwards on their hands, like it just, yeah, very, very creepy. That shit gave me nightmares for a good long while. No, you get the Spazer, then you go down and get the jump boots. I was like, don't you get the ice beam here pretty soon? And I'm like, wait. You can go freaking. I'm actually genuinely shocked I can freaking do the wall jump alright with this D-pad, because this D-pad's not great either. Oh, yeah, that's right. You're supposed to. Okay. Yeah, I'm actually a lot more tired than I thought I was gonna be. So I think I'll try to just shoot for my typical, my hour and a half mark. I thought more people would be by too, considering it's a Friday. Going into Saturday night. Ah, fucker. Let me go. Thank you. So on the agenda, probably not before the end of the year, but very soon. Sometime soon. Don't know how soon. Yeah, I can't go over there. I need to go get the jump boots. I don't think I can get the ice beam just yet. Can I? I don't remember. Which is sad. This is like a game I play to hell and back, and I don't remember certain things. I just know that you have to come down here to get the jump boots. And then you can go F upgrade. Because then you get the rare suit. I don't remember if you get the ice beam before that or not. I just didn't think you could, actually. But maybe you can, and I'm just mistaken. Yeah, energy tank. No, because I think you have to come back down to Norfair, and then you get the ice beam. Because you can't get it just yet. Because you need to get the Varera suit to go through the heated areas. I like how they actually kept that from the original. That was a nice nod to the original. Because that's what you had to do. Like, you had to go get the freaking jump boots from Norfair and then come back up. I remember not thinking that, oh, you get a high jump. I remember actually legitimately doing the wall jump to get up and get that. I've done it before. It's really funny. Like, because you kind of, not necessarily sequence break. It's not like anything major, but it's still hilarious. Because, like, you can actually get up there and freaking get the friggin' missile tank without the use of the jump boots. But I'm gonna try to avoid that as much as I can, especially because this freaking controller is awful. I wish Nintendo, like, as weird as it sounds, I wish they would almost like reissue like the original Super Nintendo controller and such. Like, actually, like, put, like, legitimate ones out on the market, Like, how fucking cool would that actually be if they started, like, remaking, like, old controllers or giving them modern flares, but, like, keeping the original aesthetic? Like, if they can do it for the for, like, the Super Nintendo Classic, why can't they make a version that actually works on a Super Nintendo? Because, like, as far as I know, that controller is actually pretty fucking legit. Okay, yeah, I don't think you can go in there. Yeah, you can't go in there until you freaking fuck upgrade. I feel obligated to at least hit the hour and a half mark, especially considering like that first little bit was like was not great. Was me freaking having to fucking get my fucking other controller. That works. Ow. Damn. think this is just a missile. An energy and missile refill, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, got full energy, and missile stations don't recharge your super missiles, they only recharge your normal missiles. Damn it. Damn it. Oh, come on. Man, are you gonna be stingy? Don't be like that. Come on, I only have 5 super missiles I can hold. Tell me you can't give me another freaking missile? Fuck Kraid's day up with this shit. Okay, I won't sit here and do this forever. I'll give it another minute. These guys are being jerks. Come on. Okay, they're not going to give me another one. So we'll just stick with the 3 that we got. And we'll go from there. Excuse me. Ow. Didn't even need all my super missiles. It kind of makes you wonder, like, where he actually ends up falling into. It's kind of weird because he just like falls into the background. I love though how that fight has taken so many different iterations though. Like it's always interested me how like it's just so radically different between each game every time you fight Kraid and Ridley. Kind of makes me sad that they didn't revisit, like, you know, because they revisit Ridley, obviously. Because, you know, it's kind of strange that, like, he became the big staple, like, in quotes, rival character. Like, that's kind of strange to me, like, how he became that. I don't know if that was the plan always from the get-go, but it's always kind of weirded me out that like Kraid got kind of pushed to the sideline and that Ridley guy ended up getting all the attention. But he does have more story relevance and everything. I know he was the one who freaking killed Samus's parents and all that shit, so I understand it from that aspect that he would have. There it is. Couldn't remember exactly what part of the roof it was in. God, yeah, holy crap, my eyes are freaking like, holy shit. It's alright. It's alright. I will try to at least make the hour-and-a-half mark. I don't think I'll actually be beating Metroid, Super Metroid, but like I said, it gives me a reason to actually come back and revisit this for the after-hours streams. Hopefully I can figure out what's wrong with my fucking controller. Okay. It was a retweet. That's fine. Okay, so I can pretty much go everywhere now. Now it's about getting the speed booster and getting the getting the ice beam. Making our way back out in Norfair to go get the power bombs. Cause I don't. Yeah, because you need the power bombs to get the. Or do you? I don't remember. I think there's like this weird thing where you can actually sequence break and you don't have to. Crap! I don't remember how to get out of here. Shit. Ah, there it is. Oh yeah, because isn't that where the ice beam is? Yeah, because I did do that once before. I actually sequence braked it, and I didn't have power bombs. I remember now. I don't remember what playthrough that was when I did that, though. To actually be perfectly honest, I did do it though. I know it's a thing that can be done. I like how they kind of revisited this. Ah, they sort of did. I guess in Fusion, they sort of did. Yeah, they did. I don't know why I'm saying sorta. I like how there was like in Zero Mission there was like the two different levels though, of like there was lava and like they didn't say acid. Maybe they did. I just remember there was one form you had to have the gravity suit to walk through one form, and I don't know it's the same in this, isn't it? God damn it. Making those jumps horribly. Oh, this one's always fun. I like doing this. There is a way, and I've done it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. I could certainly try. It is not an easy thing to pull off, but I have pulled it off before. Because you need the grappling hook to get into this one room, but I have actually done it to where you don't need necessarily the grappling beam. It's about hitting this wall. You have to hit it the right angle. If I can't do it, I'm not going to spend too much time trying to do it. I have done it. It was funny because I think I did this. I'll have to go back and watch it, but I'm pretty sure during the Extra Life stream when I did this, I did it in like the first freaking try. Because you have to hit it just right. And it's like you hit the corner. There we go. Yeah! Fuck yeah. Oh, the wall jump is the fucking coolest thing in this game, I swear. Oh, man. It just makes it so much fun because you can break shit and you can get into shit. Ah. It's too good. I know it's just for a missile tank, but still, it's the premise of the thing. Pretty sure I did that on the Extra Life stream as well. But that I can't overly verify right now, because... yeah, that was 2 years ago? God, that was a while ago. Well, it was before I did my first 24-hour marathon. So I want to say that that was like two years ago. I did that in 2015, I think. Yeah, because my first year was 2014 of Extra Life. Oh, god damn it. Yeah, I missed the freaking missile tank. There's a missile tank over here. Shit. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to get back up. Not without doing the freaking bomb jump. And bomb jumps are never fun. Because I can never time it right. Almost. Shit. I know I've been able to do it once before. Like, ah, well. I'll just have to remember for next time. I got the other missile tank just to account for it. We'll just look at it that way. Okay, I don't remember which way is which. Isn't this the way where you get the wave beam? Or am I thinking... no. That is not where you get the wave beam. I think there is something in that room, but I just don't remember at the moment. I hate that you can't kill these fuckers. Like freaking magma creatures. Okay, coming down here is where Ridley's place is. Yeah, I can't enter it without the frickin' power bomb. Can go through there when you get the wave beam, though. Yeah, I don't think I can get the wave beam just yet. I know you can get it without the grappling hook, though, because I've done it. And that's always fun. Oh, this part, yeah. Damn it. Oh, shit. Yeah, let's not waste all my health doing that. I like how that one sinks. I wonder why. So weird. No, isn't this... yeah, no, this is where you get the wave beam. But what do you need? Like, because you can do it without the grappling hook. I know that. Because I've done it before. I just don't remember what you need to, like, get through. Do you need the ice beam? Or maybe I can do it and I'm just freaking spacing out because it's late and my brain meat's not thinking too well, too right. No, I think you can get it. Yeah. Okay, come on. Spin jump, please. Boom. No grapple beam required. Yeah. Hell yeah. Then it just makes shit fun, because then you can just shoot through shit. Although I'm about to die, so that's probably not the best thing. But hey, I got the frickin' wave beam. Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna have to be super careful though, because I don't want to die. I like how I knew it was off screen, but I still couldn't frickin' shoot it. There we go. Okay. We come in here to get the speed booster, so if I can at least make it to the save point. Oh, perfect. Yeah, there we go. Give me all your goodies. Sweet. Perfect. Quick and easy. Getting my health back. I love it. I love knowing that you can do that and get the wave beam early. It's all telling you. It's like, oh, it wants you to wait till you get the grapple beam. Nah, I don't have to wait for that. Why wait? Why wait when you could just wall jump? It's the most broken thing in this frickin' game. Now we run like we got a propeller in our ass. Cool. Ow. Oh hey, I can get that missile tank I missed. Another instance where I think it wants you to use the grapple beam, because you can grapple onto that red guy. I don't think it's necessary though, you could just make short hops. Okay, let me go save it real quick. Yeah, don't want all that progress to go to waste. I just love all the crazy crap you can do with the wall jump in this game. It's just like, because like I think the other games kind of like the ones that at least have wall jump do have some of that, but like I think like Super just like there's so much stuff you can get away with doing if you wall jump. Like I know that like there's like that hidden message thing in Fusion, like if you do a specific nice speed run, nice speed run. Not trying to speedrun though, that's the thing. I kind of fucked up early because my controller started fucking up, so I spent like 5 minutes trying to figure it out. So I actually made the joke. I was like, oh, there went my speedrun. I do know, like, at least some of the, like, sequence breaking things, like, you know, just being able to use the wall jump and stuff like that to get to certain areas early. But I'm not hardcore enough to do freaking like 15-minute speedruns, because I know a lot of that it requires manipulating the game's physics and stuff like that to do specific jumps and things like that. Oh, the speedruns blow my mind though, to be perfectly honest. I think it's freaking amazing that people are dedicated enough to freaking figure shit like that out. I think the one that was hilarious to me finding out was the Dark Souls 2 speedrun. I know you can only do it in vanilla, but it's still really funny, the like super fast rolling. Oh, well, I have the speed booster now. Where the hell does the other thing go? I think... Okay, yeah, you can't go through there. No, I never said that the wall jumping is hard. It's super easy to figure out. Sometimes the controller can get in the way, though. If the controller's not good, you can't perform wall jumps well. Surprisingly, this third-party controller I'm using is it's fine. Although I do still prefer actual genuine product. Wait. Oh, no, never mind. It's another thing I wish they had brought back in the other games is you can't swap out your beams like you can in this one. I don't know why they did that, like why they removed that feature. Thought it was cool. I don't know, just the idea of like equipable and like being able to like equip your different pieces of gear. Like I think that's just a really neat thing. I don't know, maybe the other games, the way that they're designed, you know, developers probably thought it wasn't necessary. No, because it wants me to go up and get the... How the hell did I do that? It involves the wave beam, maybe? That's true. That is true. Metroid Prime does let you swap out your beams, which is cool. Yeah, that kind of threw me off the first time I played through the first Metroid Prime. Was the like you get so familiar with it because like you get all the familiar beams, like the plasma beam, the wave beam, and the ice beam, of course, and they were all like elemental. So it's like, oh, wave beam's electricity, like, you know, electricity, and then the plasma beam is fire. Oh yeah, that's it. I remember now. I remember. Yeah, because you're not supposed to get the wave beam early. Death by Gaming. Ugh. I just had that realization. I remembered exactly how to... Yeah, that's fair. I mean, certain doors and stuff were locked behind the specific beams. You could only get into certain areas if you had the specific beams. It was just kind of a way to keep the progression at a specific, like... Yeah, because, like, with Prime, like, I've never looked up, like, speedruns or anything with, like, the Prime games, but they're kind of, like, very specific. Like, I'm sure there's glitches and stuff you can do just like every game, but when you really sit and think about it, it's like it's kind of locked behind specific items, so it's like, unless there's ways to break the game and get the items early, which sure there are. Most of these games have ways you can sequence break. The one that always makes me laugh is sequence breaking that fucks up the game. Like, actually, just like the game can't register that like you've sequence broke. Like, what was that weird one? Like one of the Mario games or something. You can freaking beat it in like a minute. Okay. No, you could come back through. Yeah, because I didn't come this way. No, this isn't the way that I need to go. But I do know where I can go to completely forego having to go back up and get the power bombs to come back down to get the grappling beam, because the wave beam lets me go through stuff. Minecraft speedruns? I mean, I'm not shocked that that's a thing, but maybe I should go up and do that other thing first. Yeah. That doesn't sound like the most appealing thing to watch, to be perfectly honest. Like, I enjoy Minecraft for what it is, but it's more fun just to, I don't know, just getting lost in the world and building shit. I like that aspect of it. There's some aspects of it I don't really care for, but, you know. It's fun with friends, too. Especially, like, when you play on modded servers and you, like, do stuff like through Feed the Beast or whatever that freaking shit's called now, because it's not through Feed the Beast, it's through whatever Twitch's thing is. Ah! There we go. That's pretty interesting. Like, it's up there with the high records, so... God, what was... There's super fast, like, there's like a lot of freaking speedruns that are like around that time. Like in the minute margin. Like, don't even hit double digits. This takes me, yeah, I could have gone either way. So we'll go. Oh, sweet. Okay, that you can't cross without the frame. If you had enough freaking leg room to get the speed jump. Yeah, I'm not really partial to either one. Like, I think it interests me with both, because it, like, the ones that don't like go outside the glitch, like don't go outside the bounds with like glitches or anything like that. Those are fun, but the glitch ones are also really fun, just because of just like the ridiculous shit that like someone figured out you could do. It's just like, that I think is the aspect that just blows my mind a lot of the time, like not knowing about like certain things, like you know, watching Castlevania speedruns, for example, like the dash canceling you can do, where you can like, you bring up the shield and while you're dashing, if you do it and like you get the rhythm down, you actually speed, like you can dash indefinitely, and it's a lot quicker than if you just like dash normally. Like shit like that. Like I just think it's freaking it's crazy that that people just learn how to do that shit. The one that Mario Kart ones too also kind of freaking blow my mind. I remember watching somebody did like, God, it was like a freaking like 20-minute something video about the Choco Mountain history from Mario Kart 64 and that speedrun history. With a guy, like the one guy trying to freaking get that jump, like he live streamed it for like all that time trying to freaking do it and finally did it. It's just like, shit's Don't make me wrong, I find the glitch ones fascinating, but to watch for entertainment, glitchless is better for that. Oh, that's fair. Each person's got their, you know, got their preference, man. To me, I think both are equally as entertaining. Like, I'm entertained by the glitch ones mainly just because, like, again, you know, someone had to figure out that that was a thing you could do in the game, and kind of like that initial discovery that someone might have had figuring that out and then piecing together how you could use that to leverage your time and things like that. I think it's a fine art in some aspects, so I think that's what intrigues me about it. But glitchless ones are just as viable. That's also fair. I can get that too. It's hard to be entertained by just 1 minute. Yeah, I can totally relate to that. Okay, I think I have done that once before too, where if you can like, yeah, can get just enough, and then you can get the power bomb. That's hilarious to me. Is this a save point? I can't remember. Yes. Cool deal. Pokemon Snap speedrun. That was like one of the funniest things I remember, you know, and because that game, like, if you just casual playthrough is not hard. Like, it's a game you can beat super quick. I just remember my brother got so excited, bought a used copy of that and freaking he freaking beat it in like an hour and a half, like 100%, like. And like, I think because he bought it when GameStop used to sell retro games like actually in their store. I know they do it on the online, like they take the games for trade and sell it online, but they don't actually do it in store anymore. At least the one here doesn't. And yeah, I remember him being so pissed that he beat it so quick. He was like, "There's nothing to do after that." So he went and like got his money back, same day. Good times to be had. Pokemon Snap, though. Not the most interesting thing they did on N64. I think the most interesting one was freaking Hey You Pikachu. For what that's worth. Which, that game actually has an ending. Blew my mind. Did not know that freaking game had an ending. Oh, nice. Yeah, like, I kind of figured it depended on area. Like, most of the ones that the ones I at least go to now, or attempt to in any case, like the one here I know doesn't. They've stopped selling that shit a long time ago. And most of the ones where my older brother lives, in Arizona, the ones that I've been to in any case, don't have any of that stuff actually on the storefront. And it could depend too if the store is big enough to accommodate it. God, that's a whole story. I remember that. You know, I used to work at the one here way back when, a few years back. It's been about 3 years now since I've worked there. But I remember, you know, Wii games were still, for the most part, at least here where I live, they were still viable market. People were still buying them. You know, because like the Wii U, unfortunately, suffered from, you know, the fact that it was not promoted properly, and a lot of people thought it was just an accessory and not like a brand new console. All that shit. That shit's been explained way better than I can. But I remember, you know, a lot of people were still buying like Wii stuff and getting really upset when they found out that the freaking Wii U stuff didn't work on the Wii. Of course, I told them, you know, it was more like they were upset that they couldn't buy the new, like, because Splatoon was really big when that came out, and like some you know, parents were really upset that they couldn't buy that for their kid because, like, oh, it doesn't work on the console that we have. That was probably really dumb to jump down here, because then it's a freaking pain in the ass to get back out. But yeah, I remember we got into like this big old freaking argument with my assistant manager because we had decided instead of having the Wii games on like a shelf, like, because we had like this kind of like outward like kiosk, if you will, that was shelved. And that's what a lot of the GameStops do now, is they have like this little shelf on wheels that's like out instead of being on the wall. And we had put all the Wii games up on the wall because the fucking things were still selling. Was again crazy thing just from where I live, and I remember our assistant manager got all fucking pissy about that shit. Oh, that's outdated. That's outdated product. We can't display that. And I'm just like, fucking people still buy it though. It's like, who the fuck cares if it's outdated? If people are still buying it and constantly asking for it, we should display it so people know it's there. But what do I know? I was just a freaking peon employee, so what do I know about big corporate decisions? And I don't necessarily think the Wii U is bad, but I could certainly tell you it was one of the more recent consoles that I did not have for a very long time before I sold it, which I did initially regret for a bit, but I think it could have been a lot better. It could have, but you know, that's neither here nor there. I'm glad with at least the Switch that they've been handling that a lot better. Aside from the overabundance of ports, but that's to be had with like every console. I mean, that was freaking the Xbox One and the PS4 launch. I remember because I used to work at a media store when those launched, and like God, it's like how many original games were actually on that system? Like when they, like I think Infamous Second Son was like the only, like that and Killzone were like the only two like original Sony IPs that were on the PS4. Like the rest was like you had like Call of Duty Ghosts, Assassin's Creed 4, and so it was just like a bunch of ports. It's like, here's a game that nobody really liked. It was like one of the worst Call of Duties, and I'm just gonna port it to the next gen because it'll run better. Blows my mind though how many people wanted the PS4. That's a thing that always kind of just freaked me out. Like, because I worked at a media store and like we could not hold on to those things to save our damn lives for that first little bit. It's such a funny thing to say now because it's like it's trivial. Like you can get, you know, systems and stuff like that like no problem nowadays. Like you can get just about any system. Like there's really never a shortage. There was for the Switch, but they remedied that pretty quick. But yeah, like it was crazy that like everyone wanted the fucking PS4. And you know, I live in a smaller city, so I don't know how it was in like bigger cities. But yeah, we couldn't hold on to those things. It was the funniest thing because we were like our manager. I was in management at this store. But the higher ups in the corporate were like, here's the corporate credit card. Go to Walmart, go to Target, go to Sam's, go wherever, go to GameStop, buy up their stock of PS4s, bring it to our store so we could sell it, which was the dumbest thing because when you really put that on paper, because I was always told, and I was even told this at GameStop, you know, we didn't make any profit on new consoles. It was all from like games and accessories and all that was, and the used product especially was where we made our profit. So like when you sit and think about it, it's like, okay, so you let a bunch of like managers throughout the region know, like, here's the credit card, go buy up PS4s. So they're actually wasting money just to get something in our store. Like, and it didn't take long for the stores here locally to freaking catch on to that shit. And yeah, like I totally get what you're saying, man. Like, I know that the Switch, that was one of the big things that like before the system even launched, I was already like, goddamn, they could make a system that's so much better. And obviously they're going to because they've already patented for a freaking new model. I can guarantee you that new model is probably going to freaking see a little bit more. I can probably guarantee that. Like more, I don't know what they might upgrade, but I'm sure they're going to make it better in some shape or form. They did it with the 3DS, so it wouldn't surprise me if they do it with the Switch. Yeah. Yes, that was. I was not in the market for one of those, so I didn't have to worry about it, but I did feel bad for the people who really did want one of those, and yeah. Yeah. Well, and the fact that they discontinued it only to like kind of retcon that and were like, "Oh, we're bringing it back." You shouldn't have discontinued it to begin with. You had a hot gem that was making you money. Like because the idiot scalpers who bought like 10 of the damn things to try to resell them. But then are the scalpers the idiots, or the idiots who are the people who actually bought them at inflated prices? I don't think it's right what scalpers do. Like, I get that it's a really bullshit practice. I mean, it's not illegal, especially when companies allow, like when you go to GameStop and they allow you to freaking buy like 4 or 5 of the damn things at one time. Like, that's totally on the companies. But like the people, like, I know that it's a hot button like item that people want, but it's like, do you really want to pay the inflated price? I think you should just wait, you know. And then look, it's like they try to remedy the situation by making more units, so it's like then people just kind of look dumb because there are probably people out there who didn't spend the actual buying price and ended up buying one for like $300 to $400. Price, yeah, buy an NES Classic for the price of a fucking brand new PS4 or Xbox One, you know. And that's cool, man, that you were able to get one. Yeah, I wasn't really interested in one per se. I understand what they're doing with it, and I think that I wasn't against the concept is the thing. Like, I was not at all opposed to Nintendo doing it. Like, I don't like it how they're handling the whole, oh, we're going to shut down ROM sites thing, and then we're just going to sue everybody who happens to sell those ROMs or, provide those ROMs or whatever. Like, I don't really care about that. But, I thought the idea of actually, like, a legitimate plug-and-play style system from Nintendo was, like, something that these, like, honest to God, I'm surprised they didn't do it sooner. Like, it made so much sense, and, like, they let, like, people like Jack Specific and stuff do it for so long, unchallenged, and then they finally did it, and it's just like, oh, nice. I got a Super Nintendo Classic actually from my father for his Father's Day gift. He was actually really sick at the time, and he was at home a lot, and so he would just like kind of sit out and just watch TV a whole bunch. And so I know that my older brother had gotten one, and he had gotten to actually play my older brother's system. And I thought, well, that would be fucking something cool that he could actually do. And so I did. I got him one. And he likes it. He doesn't play it as often as I thought he would. But he enjoys it. It's got some of the games that he kind of knows, like this. And I'm more into the physical media thing of those, physical carts and stuff like that. So I have a Model 2 Super Nintendo that is plugged across the room. It's plugged into a fucking huge ass. I call it Big Bertha. That's the name I've dubbed it. I know that's probably stereotypical, but it's a big ass freaking CRT that I got at Goodwill for like dirt cheap. That's why I didn't say no to it, and that's why I still have it. It's because the freaking thing was dirt cheap. It's probably got to be like a freaking maybe 12. No, that's not right. Probably like got to be like maybe 24, 28 inches. Freaking thing's a beast. And apparently it's an actual better brand, which that I didn't know. So got a good deal on it. Paid $7 on it. So can't really complain too much. But yeah, I got a Model 2 Super Nintendo. Not by choice. I would have had the Model 1, but that was the only one that they actually had at the moment when I bought my Super Nintendo. Oh, nice. Yeah, I've actually I've been looking into some mods to do for some of my console. I know that the one that I really want to get done is for my Super Nintendo, or not my Super Nintendo, my 64 to convert it to SCART. Yeah, I really want to do that. Image quality is freaking great. I think it would look really cool. I don't have a TV that runs SCART, but we can remedy that with a converter. That's no big deal. But yeah, really wanted to do that modification. I do want to get my Saturn. Same company who does the SCART modification does a Saturn modification that makes it region free. So it's like a flip switch in the back, so you can change the hertz and you can change the region. I thought that would be super cool, so I could just buy all the freaking games I want for Saturn that are fairly inexpensive to get on the actual Japanese versions. I'd have to have them look at the freaking battery thing, though, because I think mine's fucked up, because I bought a used unit, took a chance on it, didn't know if it worked. Actually does, but I think the battery thing is shot. And I think that was just because of misuse on my part. But, yeah, so I want to do that. I don't know if I want to do anything to my Super Nintendo. I thought about it, but it's a Model 2, and I know that those are more sought after for some weird reason. So in case I ever wanted to resell it, I wouldn't want to mod it just because, you know, it'll lose some of its innate value just because of that. Like, because mods like that, you know, they're not for everybody. You know, like, I might find a buyer who wants a modded Model 2, but then I could potentially not, and somebody who just wants the Model 2 just for aesthetic reasons or whatever, and just wants to, like, have it, like, there to display or whatever. So that's something I consider. For the 64 and stuff like that, though, it's like there are modifications I want to do. Like, you know, and again, like, kind of following on the whole thing that, like, modifications are not for everybody. Like, I actually got into somewhat of a, not necessarily an argument, and I've had weird conversations with this individual, but the retro store, the local shop that I frequent quite a bit. Also, thank you for the follow. Really do appreciate it. I actually don't know who followed because I can't look at it right now, but thank you nonetheless. Yeah, so I got into like this argument, if you will. I got into this discussion with this individual at the local shop that I frequent, and he I told him that there were modifications you could do to like hardware because he was having an issue with like his flat screen doesn't take 240p, like, you know, because that's the native resolution for the older systems, and certain new flat screens don't take it anymore, don't have a converter that takes it, and he was running into that issue where he wasn't getting a signal. And so I told him, like, well, you know, you could look into stuff like, you know, getting like a SCART modification to your 64 and everything like that, and that might circumvent it because you'd be running it through HDMI. And he was like, no, I prefer all my stuff original. That might be an FPS issue unless that's from the Retron, because I should be streaming at 60. Well, wait, no, I think I'm streaming at 30, so never mind. Scratch that, you might be right. But that is an issue with the Retron as well, so that might actually be more attributed to the freaking hardware, the software in the freaking Retron, than it is the actual stream. But yeah, he got all like, oh, I prefer all my stuff original. I'm like, all right, man, sue yourself. Just giving you some friendly neighborhood Spider-Man advice, you know, because like I've been getting super, you know, into this whole, like, originally I don't care personally what I play stuff on, but it's more like I've been getting more and more into like the idea of like being able to put retro games on a modern TV, because like unfortunately the big problem now is that like CRTs are just, they're not necessarily becoming hard to come by. Like, you could pretty much go to any thrift store and probably find one. It's ones that are working in the longevity of how long you're gonna have it, you know, because some, you know, not every freaking CRT is built the same, so you might not necessarily, you know, get one that has a decent lifespan left in it. So yeah, that's kind of the thing I've been running into. I forgot to get the freaking damn scope. Where the hell was that? Where did I miss it? Oh, I missed it on the way coming back up from Brimstar. That's funny. That's fine. I can go back and get it. Yeah, not all CRTs. The smaller ones aren't so bad. But the big ones like mine, like my Big Bertha, yeah, that freaking thing. Oh my god, dude. I feel like I'm gonna like if I fell with that, it would not be a pretty sight. I don't want to hack my SNES or NES because I know that I will fuck it up and somehow break it. That's why I don't do, like, if I'm looking into any sort of modifications like that, though, I'll send it in to get it done. I am not super tech savvy when it comes to electronics like that, so I would not trust myself unless I knew something was easy. Like, you know, for example, like I have an arcade stick, and that thing's easy to modify because it was built specifically for that, for customization purposes. So when it comes to like maintenance on that I'm a little bit more self-aware about, because it's like, oh, it's really easy. It's just like, oh, like it needs a new USB cable or whatever. I buy a new one. I just pop out the old one from the motherboard. Like, it's a little socket. Just pop it out, plug the new one in. We're good to go. You know, but when it comes to like intricate stuff, like modifying an N64 to run SCART and not composite, like I wouldn't know the first thing on how to do that, and I would not trust myself. Like, that's the only reason like why I've never like really dived into doing stuff with like like Raspberry Pis and stuff. I almost said RetroPie, same thing. I think one is called RetroPie if I'm not mistaken, like one build of it. But like Raspberry Pis, like I know that like pretty much you can you know, build your own stuff that way. It's just like I wouldn't trust myself is the thing. Some I know are a lot easier than others in any case. There's plenty of guides out on the internet that, you know, you could look up to find how to do easy ones and stuff like that and get a good clean image and things like that. Oh. Ah! Temporarily bricked my SNES Classic when I did mine. Oh, when you flash modded it? Flash modding's not hard. I did that for my father's SNES Classic. I did it for my PSP 2000. I flash modded that. Yeah. Not hard to do. Thankfully. It's come a long way. PSP flash modding back in the heyday used to be really difficult, but it got a lot easier towards the end. Which is good, because PSPs make nice little emulator devices if, you know, buy a 2000 or a 3000. Preferably the 3000, because I think it's got a better screen. I don't know, my friend just recently got a 3000. I'm freaking jealous because the screen is really nice. I think mine's just suffered from wear and tear, and I think like at one point it got water damage, so the screen's kind of blurry. I know that happens in my my GBA. I have a GBA SP, not the good one with the backlit screen. I've got the one with the frontlit screen, but the screen's kind of fuzzy now because I think it got water damage at some point. Oh, I know. And modifying original, if it's the original Xbox, those still seem kind of like it's a lengthy process. Yeah, I don't like, only flash modding is about the extent of like my modding knowledge, just because it's a lot easier to do. Like, I've done it to my dad's Super Nintendo Classic, did it to my PSP, I did it to my Wii. I bought a Wii specifically for that reason. Thank God I got all the freaking the Wii shit I wanted before freaking Nintendo started having a spurg out on ROM sites. Especially, too, because it was the big thing for me was like all the virtual console stuff. Like, because I didn't have the money to freaking pay for all that shit. And at the end of the day, with the amount of crap that I actually did download from my modded Wii, it's like, I would have spent a pretty freaking penny. Nintendo would have gotten a huge paycheck from me that day if I had actually spent all that crap. It sounds like there might be at least just educated guess that there might be something wrong with the cable or one of the LCDs or something in the screens going out. Might just be the cables loose. That sounds more accurate, but you have to be really careful when you open those things, because I accidentally screwed up my first PSP 2000 because I opened it to clean the screen, and yeah, when I put it back together, my UMD drive just stopped working. So in the process of me cleaning the screen, I apparently did something to the freaking UMD's power cable. Yeah, so you got to be a little careful when you open those. For the most part, it's not too hard, and most of the stuff you won't mess up, but yeah. So I had to take one completely apart. My brother had a dead one, same model, so I basically swapped all his parts, and just put my motherboard in there because it was already flash modded. And so, yeah, I got the screen working for the most part. Well, actually, no, it was the same screen. It was just like the shell casing and the UMD drive. Surprise, surprise, it actually worked. So that was actually super nice. Okay, where do I have to go from here? I have to go to the wreck ship, don't I? And then Meridia. Oh man, what time is it? I think I might go do the next boss. I'm probably gonna wrap it up because I'm starting to get tired. It's late where I am. It's actually 2:45 in the morning. And I'm awake, streaming for some godly reason. Ungodly reason, I'm streaming. Insomnia sucks, that's the main thing. But I'm actually surprisingly somewhat tired. But yeah, modding seems really fun. I tried to mod my PS Vita. That didn't go well. God, because there's just so much, like, I think I'll probably mod mine somewhere down the line when it becomes a little bit easier to do. Because, like, you had to do, like, this stupid crap where you had to, like, circumvent the system trying to auto-update, and I just couldn't, for the life of me, get it to work proper. And so, yeah. Kind of sucked, because I was really hoping to mod my... I bought a PS TV because I really wanted to stream PS Vita games, and I thought that was the easiest way to do it. The unfortunate thing is like the whole library doesn't work, so that's why I was trying to mod, you know, so I could modify my PS TV so I could actually play every game on it, regardless if it was locked or whatever originally. And yeah, didn't work out. I couldn't tell you right off the bat. I just know that I updated it to the latest firmware, so I don't think I can update it. It was kind of like the Revelation, you know, like I have a series I was trying to start and get back into streaming PS2 games because I have a very extensive PS2 library, and I thought, what better way to get through a bunch of those games I haven't played than to stream them. And I bought one of those composite to HDMI converters. It worked fine for like the first 2 streams I used it, and then it stopped cooperating with my Elgato, so I couldn't get a proper signal anymore. And I decided, I was like, oh, you know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna look into modifying my PS3 to I just wasted all my super missiles. That's fun. I'm gonna modify my PS3 to play PS2 games. Yeah, mine's too new. Because yeah, it's a really weird thing with PS3. With certain models of the PS3, if it was made in a specific time with a specific firmware, you can't do the modification to it. And sure enough, find out mine's been too new, so I can't modify it. You know what I really should have done is probably gone and got a couple things that I missed. Because, yeah, I'm going to have to fight this dude with frickin' charge shots and not super missiles. And I have not gotten a single super missile upgrade since I started. It's just not my night. My brain's not working right. There's usually a number of things I do before I get here. I didn't do them. Very nice. Very nice. Yep, unfortunately I can't modify mine as much as I wanted to. I might eventually somewhere down the line try to find one I can modify. I'd like to. If I can figure out what the hell happened to my my friend's PS3. Oh shit, yeah, I don't have the reserve tank either. God damn it, there was a bunch of shit I could have done before I came here. God. I'm like kicking myself because like there's usually a pattern I play this game at. It's like I go do this, I go do that, I break this. I break this chain of events, I go do this one. Yeah, I'm doing the, I can't think of a clever retort. I'm doing the normie speed run. How about that? How about that? That sounds tame and not super offensive. Not that I care, but still. I'm trying not to diss myself too hard. Woo! Oh my god, die please. One fucking super missile. Oh my god, I'm so dead. Ah! Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm sure. I mean, I'm competent enough. I'm just, it's late. I'm not thinking. I'm just like, it's kind of the realization of like, oh, there was a bunch of shit I could have done before I came here to make that fight a hell of a lot easier. I should probably go up and save it. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, game. That was probably a spike on the Retron's part. I can guarantee that. That was weird. The controls became all floaty there for a minute. I was like, what the fuck? Or it could be just third-party control. I don't know. This third-party controller could be freaking giving out. Would not surprise me. Like I said, I freaking bought this, God, back. I don't remember if I bought it when I bought my Retron 5 or if I bought it when beforehand because I needed another controller for something. Because I'm sure me and one of my friends at somewhere down the line probably dicked around on my freaking Super Nintendo. There's 2 items in here, isn't there? I think I'm thinking of another room. But yeah, when I worked at that media store, you used to have a whole section dedicated to retro, and we sold a bunch of third-party like controllers and memory cards and things of that nature. And I bought this third-party Super Nintendo controller because I didn't have a second one. Well, no, I had a second one, but I gave it to somebody because they didn't have one. And so I bought this to replace it, not realizing that I probably shouldn't have bought a third party. I have a local retro store that I could go buy a legitimate one. I'm sure he's got boxes of the damn things. I might bum a freaking motherboard off of him too. I don't know if they've gone up. I know I think mine was 150 when I bought it. I don't know if they've gone up since then. If they've gone up, then probably not. It's hit or miss. I will say, having actively used mine somewhat, one of the big issues is that you just run into like, oh, that's not bad. That's not bad. That's actually less than what I paid. But the big issue is that you have to update it. Retron is kind of weird about like letting people know that there's an update for that damn thing, because I didn't know unless I went and checked if there was an update. Like, I don't think there was like any sort of newsletter you could get to. So as far as I know, mine's up to the current firmware. At least I think it is. Don't know. But I ran into some issues, like the controller that was packaged with mine didn't last very long. It fell apart really quickly. It started becoming really finicky, like the buttons weren't responding and things like that. To the point where it was like reading each input as if it was like a turbo input, and none of the firmware updates I've done have fixed it. So I'm assuming it's just something with the controller is not really built to last. The controller ports work fine. Mostly every game I've tried has worked fine. There's a couple that I know that were notable. I know Clay Fighter 2 didn't work on Super. Clay Fighter 2 didn't work. At least my copy doesn't. I don't know if that's just the software. My copy doesn't work. It barely works with my Super Nintendo, so it might just be my copy. Star Fox had lag. Not to where the game was unplayable. There was a delay with like the audio. It was really weird, and it didn't start happening until towards the end of the game. So I don't know if it was just an emulation thing or something like that. Castlevania Adventure was unplayable because the frame rate was so bad. It was really choppy. It was like, I mean, that game's not the best frame rate wise to begin with, but it was just like really choppy, like made it unplayable. But those are the only couple games I know that like so far I've had issues with. Oh, and then me and my friend were trying the bum rush speed run, if you will, Super Mario World one time doing co-op, and it locked up. It just locked up. We were in the middle of playing and it just stopped. So yeah, couldn't tell you what happened there. I don't know if that was like a Retron thing. Don't know if it was, because it's so weird, because I don't know if it's like my copy is the issue. I don't know if the system I'm using is the issue. Could be anything, you know, like there's no clear cut, because like as far as I know, like when the controversy for the Retron 5 came out and like everybody was all like really pissed off, like, oh, it's just using emulation and everything like that, like I stopped hearing about it. Like everybody was really hyped for it when it first got announced, and then like it just kind of like faded off into obscurity. Like I don't know a lot of people that talk about it still anymore. I think my friend Avalanche Jared, I think he still uses a Retron 5, but because he got his FrameMeister, he might be using original hardware. But anyway, it's late. I'm tired. So I think I'm going to stop it here, but I might be back with this tomorrow night. I don't know. I've been really weird about my streaming schedule, but thank you everybody who came by and chatted with me. It was a lot of fun. I really appreciate the follows. That's always good. I am trying to get back into streaming more consistently, so hopefully that'll take off. Like I said, way at the beginning of the stream, I'm off the next 2 weeks from school, so I'll have 2 weeks to do absolutely fuck all. So I'll hopefully be streaming a lot more. But until next time, which might be tomorrow, might not, don't know. And when I'm back with this has been Daybreaker Rein, and I will catch you all in the next one as I like hug my mic and take it easy, everybody.